stages of the men's 1500 freestyle, and the early leader is going to be lane number 5, Park Tae-won, turning there at 54.62. The championship record of this event, 14.16.10. The world record, 14.08.06. Both held by Italy's Gregorio Paltrinieri, swimming here tonight in lane 4. Bringing in our 3-time Olympian and 2-time Olympic medalist in the men's 1500 freestyle, Ryan Cochran, to discuss some of the race strategy here in the men's 1500. Ryan, yesterday in the heats we talked about how important it is to get on your pace on that second or third 50. We're seeing those guys get into that rhythm right now.
It's pretty amazing. It's not like you train specifically to be able to do that, but when you actually see those splits from the third 50 on, a lot of those times are really within a tenth of a second, which it's pretty amazing. That's such a small amount of time that they're able to just continuously do that over the 60 laps.
Park Tae-won continues to lead ahead of Gregorio Paltrinieri and Bojack Bodak in lane number 6, currently third, as our 3 leaders try to separate themselves from the rest of the field, now approaching the 250-meter turn. Paltrinieri now takes over the lead by 3/100ths of a second. Very early stages here, Ryan, at 250, as these top 3 right now trying to sort of feel each other out as they go through towards the 300.
Yeah, Paltrinieri was playing a bit of catch-up. Not sure what happened on that dive, but he's beside Park Tae-won, who is obviously a fantastic sprint freestyler, winning the 200 gold medal here and the 400. We're going to see him in the 100, which is actually the next event. But yeah, pretty far behind, and that's one of the upsides to the 1500. You can make a mistake, something can happen. There's still so much time to make that up, and now they're right together.
Trying to keep pace in lane 1 is the Olympic bronze medalist in this event from 2016, Gabriel Dedi of Italy.
He's actually the only other swimmer in this heat that's been in the top 10 all time. He actually sits at number 6.
The other, of course, being Paltrinieri with the world record at 14.08.06. Turning here at 4:44.19, that's the first 500 meters through, as they have 1,000 to go, and we'll see our 2 leaders, Park Tae-won and Gregorio Paltrinieri, start to pick up the pace a little bit here in this middle 500.
Yeah, they're a little behind that world record split at about 3.5 seconds. 14.08 is, it's even hard to imagine how fast that is. The world record before that was Grant Hackett's, and that's stood since 2001. So they're a little off that so far. Hopefully they can push each other. Last time Paltrinieri did that swim, he was by himself. So we might actually see a surprise in the second half of the race.
And you mentioned Grant Hackett. He set the record at 14:10.10 back in 2001. It stood for 14 years until being broken last year by Gregorio Paltrinieri in 2015. And behind them, third overall, is 5 seconds behind Hackett's record, Mikhailo Romanchuk from the Ukraine, which earlier this year went 14:15.49.
You see a lot of different athletes really all walks of life that do well in this event. You see the Ukrainian athletes, the Italian athletes, the Australian athletes. There's no kind of historically great country. Long course, it was Australia for a long time. The Chinese have done a great job in the last 8 years, but it's those records. They're always meant to be broken.
And as we're talking about those rankings on the top 10 all-time performers, we take a look at the list, and in number 10 all-time, Ryan Cochran of Canada with his best time of 14:23:35.
Who's that guy? He sounds shifty.
This is a great race though in this 1500 as they approach what will be the 700-meter turn. Paltrinieri in 4, Partey 1 in 5. In the last couple events that Paltrinieri has won, the Olympics in 2016 and the World Championships in 2015, he's really swung to the front of the heat and been well in front of the rest of the field. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles it through the second half of the race, having Partey 1 so close and right next to him.
You're right. He's always been a strong contender right from the beginning. He likes to break away from the field. You can see his tempo is quite a bit higher than Parks, who really has more of a loping and longer stroke. That might actually help him in the end. It might reserve a little bit more energy. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, Paltrinieri has gotten to these results with those skills, so they both come from it from very different backgrounds.
They turn there within 2/100ths of a second of each other at the 800-meter mark. We're in store for a great finish in this men's 1500 freestyle.
Parks falling off that split, but only by about 1/10 of a second. And I think in this race it doesn't make that much of a difference. They can see each other. They can tell they're pulling away from the field. They have quite a lot of space behind them. You can't count out Bodak, but it's going to be hard for him to make up that 5 meters that he has right now.
Yeah, Wojciech Bodak is about 3 seconds down on Paltrinieri and Partey 1 as they continue to swim side by side. 4 100ths between them in that last turn at the start-finish end.
Park has been swimming this event for over 10 years. Historically, his last medal in this internationally was the 2006 World Championships in Shanghai, so he has a lot of experience, albeit slightly different than the past performances of Paltrinieri, but I think that's probably going to help him. He knows what works for him. He's seen the ups and the downs of when he swims this event, and he's looking great today.
Paltrinieri was the silver medalist in this event at the 2012 Short Course World Championships in Istanbul. A time of 14:31.13, and he won 2 years ago in 14:16.10.
Such huge amount of time that he's taken off, and that's one of the upsides of the 1500. You can't expect those 5 or 10 second drops, but now to be the only man that's broken 14:10, you wonder, how close is he going to get to that 14:05, 14-minute mark, and that would be unbelievable to see.
Less than 500 remaining in this men's 1500 freestyle final. As they turn here, it is still Partey 1 with a slight lead over Gregorio Paltrinieri in lane 4.
With that sprint background, you can really expect him to get that final 100. He has swam a lot this competition so far. Paltrinieri has yet to swim an event other than the prelims yesterday, so you can maybe think that he might have a little bit extra energy at the end. You see him picking up his tempo, but this is the part of the race that's absolutely excruciating. We always say it's 15 minutes of pain, but that really sets in about the 10-minute mark.
400 to go, and on that last 50, and the last couple 50s actually, Partey 1 has outsplit Gregorio Paltrinieri about 1/10 of a second on each 50. And as you mentioned, if it comes down to that sprint finish, you really got to give that edge to Partey 1.
will watch that last 100, 200 meters because Pelchineri is a great racer. He knows that he doesn't have that final closing 50 speed, so he'll have to try to make that up with, you know, a couple hundred before that. But you're going through that mental game of you don't want to use too much energy. It's so painful. Your muscles are screaming. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles it.
Well, and Partey picked up the pace here. He dropped from a 28.8 to a 28.1 on that last 50, and he's now got a body length lead on Paltrinieri. Again, a 28.1 for Partey, 28.8 for Paltrinieri. And Partey has decided to go early here and pull away from Gregorio Paltrinieri.
Definitely a tactic, and he takes that chance that it could be a little too early, but he still looks very smooth, still looks really high in the water. He's not over kicking. His turns look great. You see that one kick underwater. It's smooth. You can expect, I think, good things because of that.
And as you had mentioned, Partey is going to get out of this race. We'll have the victory ceremony for the women's 4x50 freestyle relays, and then he's back in the pool in the men's 100 freestyle final.
Yeah, he's swimming 64 laps tonight. I think that's safe to say more than anybody else we'll see this evening.
Almost a 3-second lead now for Partey. The winner of the 200 freestyle and the 400 freestyle here at the World Swimming Championships, trying to add gold in the men's 1500 as he's now in control of this race and well out in front. The early move seems to be paying off for Partey.
He picked up that 0.6 of a second, 0.7 of a second, and it's exactly what he needs to do. It's not a huge pickup, you know, it's only a half a second, but he did that at about 350 simultaneously, and that gave him the room he needed. It could be something as little as that really breaks your competition, and you now see him almost 10 meters ahead.
Approaching the 1450 and the bell lap in the men's 1500. Kick, world champion, his third gold of the week, Partey. Partey and a new championship record in the men's 1500 freestyle, and that time of 14:15:51 ranks him number 4